Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa, and I'm here to do my 9th TechBit session on a second part on mail merging. So we're a few minutes late. I am switching computers and had some updates I had to go through and wasn't aware. So I would like to move forward and do that. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. Okay, I think, there we go. We are in slideshow mode. Again, like I said, my name is Lisa and I'm with REC4, housed up in northern New Mexico on the main campus of Highlands, New Mexico, Highlands University. I'm trying to get my bearings here after having to rush to get all those updates. But we are being recorded and you will be able to view this session and others on the REC9 and other websites related to New Mexico educators, and I will go through those before the end of the session. As I said, we're going to be talking about mail merging or creating a personalized project that you are going to mail out or print out to multiple people. And so we will review a lot of the session that I did a couple months ago on this one. And we will then work on how you go about doing that. You'll choose your project. You'll create the database that you're going to link it to, which is actually the operative thing that we're thinking about when we're doing a mail merging project is the database, because you wouldn't be mail merging at all unless you were linking it to a list of people, names, addresses, etc., a database. And then we will go through how you do that, how you link your project to your data source, and how you would finalize your project and get it ready for printing or for mailing, etc. And hopefully this is going to be fun for you. Learning all these things I basically taught myself once I came to the REC, and rest in peace, Marlene taught me so many things. But this is kind of a niche of mine and I love it. So let's move forward. There's no one really attending the meeting at this point. It is being recorded. Otherwise, this is what I've been doing when I'm doing trainings, is asking people to sign in the chat box, which gives me a record after the meeting. We want to have fun. We don't want to stress. I want you to attend if you were here. If you're using this as a PLC or a group meeting or a technical assistance, professional development session, professional learning community collaboration meeting. It's all about learning new things and trying things and taking a risk, because there was really nothing to lose and everything to gain, because you're going to be a better teacher and have better digital skills, which are absolutely necessary in 2023 and moving forward. So when we think about mail merging, we are thinking about personalizing a project that we want to print or send to a group of people. And so the time of entering names by hand into a certificate, for example, or a student award, or of some kind, and then you have an assistant or a secretary or yourself entering names by hand into the single document and printing them, no more. That is a not efficient use of your time, and it's such an easy skill. And once we have these skills, all I ever needed and all you ever need is for someone to show you how to do something or show you where to go. I think it's easier once you get to this place, then doing these sessions will show you what to do and how to do it. So in a nutshell, I'm going to be working off of a PC. I'm not sure how it all looks if you're working off of a Mac. But generally on a PC, and you would be, if I'm working in a publisher or a Microsoft Office product, which I am, I'm going to go to the mailings tab. I'm going to go to the step-by-step wizard. I'm going to find the existing list that I've created that I'm going to link my project to. And I'm just going to basically follow the steps. So again, like I said earlier, you're going to create your project. It can be a project, a sign, a certificate, an award, a flyer, it can be a newsletter, a business letter that you do in Microsoft Word. It could be any kind of a document that you want to send to someone that personalizes it by their name, address, or any kind of personal information into the document, or any kind of other project that you want to link to a bunch of names. This is just a few things that you could be thinking about in terms of projects. This time of year, I know that teachers and educators are, printing awards and certificates for students and colleagues and parents and volunteers and student helpers and student teachers, etc. This is a great time to learn this skill. So certificates, awards, flyers, newsletters, personalized agendas for teaching purposes, business letters, calendars, name badges, labels, all these things, envelopes, all these things you can do by mail merging, and no more will you be printing names one by one. I personally am in love with Publisher, Microsoft Office tool. I don't use Google Docs that often, although they are very cool. I'm old school, I guess, and I love Publisher. So this is the one that I will work in mostly. So here we're doing our video clip. I'm going to be showing you what, if we're looking at my screen on my laptop. This is actually a view out my window, or the window I used to have before the fire. But you can see this is my screen, and if this is my computer screen, I'm going to right click on the Publisher icon on my toolbar. I have a taskbar at the bottom, and I would click that, and I'll show you. Hold on, let me go back one. So I would go into a Publisher document. I would go to what's a built-in, select a certificate, select this design I like, and it's going to be easier when I show you. You'll then create it and design it how you want for it to be. So let's say I open a Publisher document. On the left side of the screen, it's going to show me the Publisher files that I've been working on recently. And then it shows me the built-in things that are already a default availability to you when you open your Publisher program. So you can see here, you would then go to built-in. When I click built-in, I'm going to see all these different categories of projects: advertisements, award certificates, banners, flyers, envelopes, labels, letterhead, menus, greeting cards, gift certificates, etc. So this is where I would then select award certificates, because that's what I'm going to use as an example. So when I select the built-in award certificates, then this window comes up, which is the built-in templates for the category of award certificates. Now, when you're working in Publisher, these are just templates. You can select any one you want and actually delete everything that's in it. But I like to, it's going to be whatever suits you. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. This is where you will choose, the visual that speaks to you. I always think about ink. Ink, I know in schools is very expensive, and you cannot use, be printing maybe 50 things with a lot of color. So you have different considerations when you're thinking about a certificate and what you want it to look like. So you can see here, I chose one that I liked from that list of things. And you can see after I chose it, it showed up on the right navigation bar. And then I click create. When I click create, then that particular template shows up as a Publisher file. As you can see, a Publisher file right in front of me, so that I can work in it and play in it and do whatever I want. You can't break anything. And then when I'm done, I will save it and I will rename it. So it won't say Publisher 2, it will say whatever I name it when I'm done. Remember to save your work as you're working along. I've been around a long time, and I've lost many of projects because I get into the zone and I forget to save. So save periodically and regularly as you're working. So anyway, this project is just an example. Let's see, I'm working in front of me. So you could delete the star, you could change the font for the words, move the text box of the words, do anything that you want. Everything is movable. So now I want to, so if you can see back here again, that was going to be my project. Let's say I finished my project, or I'm working on my project, but I know I'm going to be linking it to my database. So we're going to select and create a database or select or create a database to which you will link your project. Now, I just created a sample fictitious database here in basic Excel, very, very simple. And then it can be any database, but I think mostly in schools, you're going to be either doing a Google worksheet or Google data sheet, whatever they are called, or you're going to be working in Excel. You can also work in Access. That's a larger database that's also in a Microsoft Office product, but that's for huge, huge amounts of data. And Excel files or CVS files. So I think for our purposes and for most teachers' purposes, you're working in Excel. So this is my sample of the databases I'm going to be linking my project to. This is a certificate that I did when we were doing the new teacher and substitute teacher trainings. And at the end of those, everyone who attended would receive a certificate with their name on it and with their district. So you can see I had their name that was going to be linked from the database. And in the database, I knew I wanted the district that the people were from. So I inserted a field where I would have the district printed as well on the certificate. So you can print any field that's in your database, you can have printed somewhere in your project and personalize your project that way. So you can see it just said first name. After I merged it to the database, it's going to start giving me the names, and you can see Mr. Cassidy is from Moore Independent School District. And then I could scroll through to make sure all the people that attended were there. This is another sample that I did in the first session of MailMerging. It was around Halloween. So I created a Halloween certificate that maybe a teacher might use. It says, let it be known that the above named student has demonstrated a strong work ethic since the beginning of school. So-and-so, student's name, and you can see that it's in brackets, has earned this reward for his or her best efforts at being a good friend, a responsible student, and taking good care of her or himself. Enjoy the day, Ms. Dracula's 5th grade class. So this is just a certificate I created in Publisher. The information that I want printed is in the text field that says name. So when I have that project, you can see I'm just taking screenshots here, or I'm using my snippet tool. The little scissor tool, the snippet and paste or cut it tool. I don't know, it's called different things. Anyway, I'm in my Publisher project, you can see, making their certificate, and now I'm ready to merge it with the database. So I'm going to go up to that little button that says Mail Merge. When I click that, it drops down to another window that says Mail Merge and step-by-step Mail Merge Wizard. I click the wizard, and then I get another Mail Merge box. Everything is very, very systematic when it comes to these kinds of programs. So please don't be nervous or afraid because they're very, very intuitive for the most part. So anyway, you click Mail Merge, and then you get this box that looks complicated, but it's really not. It shows you who the people, the names that are on the list that you chose, and what fields are available in your database. And then how it might look. So, excuse me. So I scroll down here. I already know that I have a database developed already. So I'm going to use an existing list that I have. And then I will click create and connect to my recipient list. That's the next step. When I click that, then I'm able to go into my computer. It's searching my computer for the database that I'm going to link it to. So you just keep clicking the buttons. So when it went to this, I went and found my folder. It shows me the last few folders that I've been working on there on the left. I'm working in the Mail Merge Windows folder of mine. When I open that folder, you can see I have 2 Excel files there, and I'm going to do the certificate list. And once I double click on that or single click and click open, then it's showing me that yes, there is a sheet, one worksheet, and the date that it was developed, etc. I click OK because that's the one I want. And then you can see it's showing me all the names that are in my database. But I noticed right away for myself that things are not in alphabetical order. And I like to work and list things in alphabetical order. As a teacher, you probably do too, because everything in your database is usually in alphabetical order. So how you do that is you see the little last name, and there's always a little arrow next to those boxes. That tells you that there's more things that you can choose between if you click that arrow. So I'm going to click that arrow. And when I do that, I get a box that drops down and says to sort ascending or sort descending. I would select ascending because I want them in ABC order. And I would click OK. And then it shows me here that things are in alphabetical order. Tony Allen, those are just samples. It's going to be in alphabetical order. Shows me where my list is. Now I'm ready to prepare my publication, which is the next step. Click the next step. That's showing me the database I showed. It only has 2 fields, first name and last name. So I know that I'm in the right place. As I widen the shot, you can see I just typed the word name in that field to select my font size and my font type and the color, make sure it was the right size and everything for what I wanted. And now I can highlight name, and I'm going to click first and then space, and then I'm going to click last. And those fields are going to insert themselves into that highlighted text field. As you can see right there up in the corner, it says first, space, last, because those are the title names of the columns in my database. So it's ready. I know that everything is inserted correctly. So now what I want to do is I want to check and make sure the names are going to insert right. So I go to the next step, which is create my merged publication. And here it's going to come up on the right side again. And I brought it in larger print because I want you to see that you could print it right away, or you can print preview, et cetera, et cetera. I have learned from experience never to print, even if I think it's perfect, because more than often than not, it's not perfect. So I want to print preview always before I print. So I'm going to click print preview. And when I click print preview, it's going to give me this view of my certificate with the first name in the database alphabetically showing and where I wanted those names to appear. And then you can see here, does everything look right? Oh, I should have centered that better. Does everything look right? I remember when I was doing this, I knew I only had 24 names in the database that I was using. So I was really confused about that. And it came to when I was drilled down and backstepped and tried to troubleshoot what was happening, I realized that in the certificate that I created in Publisher, it was a 2-page certificate. The second page was a blank page, and I forgot to delete the blank page. So had I started to print this project, I would have gotten 12 certificates and 12 blank pieces of cardstock, which would be a major waste, right? So I'm glad I figured that out. I fixed it, and then I could go ahead and print it. And that arrow will show you what, if you click that arrow, it will scroll through and show you each of the names within the certificate. So you can see how it looks, make sure the field is long enough for the name, make sure everything fits. And then I'm ready to print. So I would suggest to take your time to play on your devices. You and your students will all be better for it. This was a short session, so we can chalk up this one. I encourage you to go to the websites and look at the other ones that are available and recorded and waiting for you to view. I will be doing my last one for this school year next week on May 3rd, and I will be working with formatting pictures using your snipping tool, making picture files, using picture files for all kinds of instructional reasons. These are the 4 websites at this point where you can access any of these archived trainings. REC9 website, TechBits page. We now on the REC4 website have a brand new TechBits page where hopefully it will be linking us all to the same pages. Southwest REC or REC10 down in Deming and Las Cruces area, they have a web page where you can link some of these sessions, as well as the New Mexico REC Association, which is the conglomerate website for all of us that work at RECs, the 10 RECs in the state of New Mexico service centers. So that's where you can find everything you ever wanted to know about TextBits, and I'm sure things will be changing and evolving in preparation for next year. TechBits is coming back, and you will be having more and more professional development available to you regarding the use of technology. This is my contact information if anybody is interested, and that is all of my presentation. I'm going to stop my share and I will stop recording here in a second. Thank you all. I hope someone views this and finds it useful. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.